Well, hi, good morning. Thanks for joining me here in my shop. Today is June 3rd. So I wasn't in here yesterday because I was reacting to a vaccination as Shingrix vaccination. That's for shingles. It's my second vaccination. It's a two-shot deal. And the first one, I didn't really get any kind of reaction, but the second one, ooh, I was pretty sick yesterday. Right up until about dinner time, and then everything just seemed to correct itself. So anyway, feeling good today. What are we going to do? We're going to look at the magic eye in this radio. And this may well be the last thing I have to do. Now, I looked at it at the end of the last video. Looked to me like it's just simply worn out, and that's not an unexpected thing for a magic eye. Magic eyes don't last. Well, they're probably the shortest lived tube in a radio, and the phosphorus or whatever the material is that glows in the tube wears out over time. And what's wearing it out? I don't know, being struck by electrons, would that do it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a close look at it again. I'm going to check two things. One is, how does the eye look, and is the eye actually operating? This is an unusual eye for me. This is an EM80. Most magic eyes are quite different than this. The magic eye parts in the top of the tube and the like. This one's on the side, and the way the image changes is a little unexpected too. So we're going to look at a website in a moment. Shows all kinds of different magic eyes and what they're supposed to look like, including this one. Why don't we, yeah, maybe we should do that first. Let's take a look before I turn this on. We'll take a look at that website and realize what this eye should really look like before we see what it does look like. Okay, this is certainly one of the best, if not the best, web page on magic eyes. I refer to it with some regularity. magiceyetubes.com is what it's called. So thank you to the person who put this together, because I think this is probably helping an awful lot of people. It really does cover the topic nicely. So we're going to take a look at display patterns. There's quite a few different eyes. I was very surprised the first time I looked at this at how many different versions there are. Now, the one I'm most familiar with looks like this. But you just look at them, you'll see quite a few variations. We'll go down. I'm looking for an EM80. Here it is. EM80. So that's a very strange pattern, and I think what they're trying to achieve with this is not so much like this one. This one's much more like a meter. See how it's going up and down? You can practically make a measurement off of something like this. A lot of them are like that. This one, not so much. This one, I think, is really trying to go from not glowing much to glowing a lot with the way it's operating. Okay, so I wish I could stop this for a minute, but I can't stop its motion. So a couple things to look at. There's kind of a line out this way, kind of a line out this way. I'm saying this because I know what this eye looks like. It has three strange glowing lines in it. They go like this. 3 of them. Take a look at that in a minute, but that's how it should work. Like that. Okay, I got that in my head. That's enough. This is a great website, by the way. If you need to know something about a magic eye, this is the place to come. Okay, let's go look at the radio now. Okay, so without turning it on, let's take a look at it. You can see my camera down here sideways, and the eye is sideways. And together, voila, it looks upright. So I think that's kind of an interesting looking tube inside. The top part is going to turn green. The lower part it must be a way to shield the heater from your eyeballs, so you don't see the red part of the heater. That's one of the challenges in these magic eyes, is how do you have a cathode that emits electrons that can strike that the phosphor area, but not also be in view, so you can see the red heater. This must be how they do it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on the radio here. I'll leave you looking at the eye right now. I'll just watch as it comes on. We're on the broadcast band. Here we go. Just douse a few lights here, a little bit. That's better. Maybe this. 2. Here it comes. Well, that looks very similar to what we just saw. Let me turn the tune it here, and well, this is working just fine, isn't it? So now you're not hearing anything come out of the speaker because I've tuned in a noise signal that's not modulated, or not modulated much. But it's a very strong signal. Looks like there's probably a little bit of dirt on the glass here. No. No, right up in the top corners of the phosphored area, you can see the phosphors come off both sides. Come off, or it was never there maybe, I don't know. Well, certainly from a functional point of view, it looks great. Let's try FM. Now, it's going to work the same on shortwave, but on FM maybe it'll work a little differently. Let's try that. Okay, we're on FM now.
Than maybe we expect them to be. I think the
Well, this will be a very short video because I can't say there's anything wrong with this eye. Now, how about how bright it is? You can't really tell looking in this camera, but it's obviously not really dull. I'm going to have to make a judgment myself. So, standing in my room here, let's put a little more light into the deal. It's not dark in here. I think it's fine. I think it's certainly, I think there's more than enough light coming out of there. Short video. Okay, well I know what this video will turn into then. It'll turn into me putting the radio back together and giving it its final test. That's great. Fantastic. Well, one of the things I want to do before I put this back in the cabinet is stabilize the glass here. Just wiggling around, mainly because some little rubber bumpers material has disappeared in there. Now, what I was finding in the radio here, I think I've thrown it all out, this little tiny bit here of rubber, which I think is what has fallen out. So to replace that, I have, if I can find it, what did I do? Here it is. This is a belt from a record player, broken belt from a record player. And so that material can just be worked up in here a little bit. It should replace what's missing. But the interesting thing about this is these tabs here, they're not gripping the glass really. The glass can still move. There's no way to increase the pressure on these except for bending them. There's no adjustment. A lot of these, there's a screw you can unlock or something like that. You can loosen this off and take the glass off. Not this one. So what is supposed to lock this in? And just looking at it, it seems to me it's these pieces up here. Now, it's not so obvious with this one. It's a little more obvious with this one here. That somebody's taken a pair of pliers, grabbed it, and given it a twist this way. And that's to bend this down onto the glass enough that it keeps it in place. that's also missing. So maybe actually the rubber would be better stuffed in here. My rubber material. I had to put pieces everywhere here. Of course, probably the glass is down right now. See, I mean, there isn't a lot of play in there. So I could grab my pliers and tighten these up. That seems a little scary to me. As a big, powerful tool, being applying pressure essentially to a piece of glass, that just doesn't sound like a happy outcome is guaranteed there. So I'm going to work away at this, come up with something to make it a little more stable so the glass doesn't shake or move or anything like that. It's not a big problem, it's just a problem. Well, I was busily trying to insert these little rubber pieces here when I noticed that there's a felt backing here, quite a thick felt backing. So it strikes me now that what they really haven't bothered with the rubber part at all. They've simply tried to lock the glass in against the felt. And boy, am I uncomfortable with trying to bend these tabs in to lock the glass. Very uncomfortable with that. So maybe I'm going to leave it loose in the end. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. I think it should be a little bit higher. I think it should be like that. Okay, more fooling around is required here. Okay, just by putting one rubber wedge right in here, it's managed to lock it all up. Very good. That's good enough. I don't want to fool with that glass any further. Great. Okay, let's see if I can get the magic eye back in. Clean it up good before it goes in. They've written the label right on the back side, so you can see the label and rotate it appropriately. And then it's got to go into here. Oh, this is kind of bent. These pins are all bent. What can you do about that? I have a pin straightener for 6-pin tubes, but not for 6-pin? No. What am I saying? 6-pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8-pin. Well, it's not 8-pin. It's 7 pins. It's got 8 holes in it. But I don't have one that'll do 9 pins. Do this fairly carefully and not strain against the glass. So just doing this by eye. Okay. I think I'm going to do this with the socket on. If I remember right, this was a very, very tight clip. Stupidly tight clip. Oh boy, it is. Okay, that's what we got. Got trouble getting your hand in there. So this is what you have to do in reverse to replace this tube. You'd have to get it out. There it goes. Not so bad. Okay, now it's all rotated wrong, but I'm going to leave it until we get the whole chassis in. Okay, now because I've put the light in, I've kind of restricted my options here on how to spin this around. Yeah, you know what? There's a problem here. Let's take it out. Put the chassis in and then put the bulb in. Okay, one last look at this before I get it in there because it's very hard to clean along the edges once it's in the... this has come loose again. I think it's just going to remain a little bit loose. Okay. This was a radio that was really quite a bit of trouble to get it out, if I remember right. And I just remembered I've got a vacuum inside here. Whoops, okay. Whoop, whoop, hold it for it. Gotta do the vacuuming. This is a real tough one to get in to the cabinet. There's zero clearances here. Maybe the eye is blocking it up front here now. Oh boy. More than blocking it. Now how am I going to get this in? So got to get it all the way around like this. Let's see, a little odd. That's how it wants to go. Okay. Yeah, right. Now you gotta get your hand here. You don't want to break this. This is fragile. Holy smokes. Have to do it just by touch here. Stuck in there. Holy smokes. Okay, we get it anywhere near. So again, because you can look at the label, nowhere near. You gotta rotate it this way. A little more. That's got it. Okay, now there's a issue of vertically, is it correct? Oh no. You can see the socket. No, not correct. You go all the way down past that shield part down to this part. Oh, fell right out of the grip. Seems to be over this way too. Can't do anything about that, I don't think. Okay, well this is a little more too high still. I can still see that heater shield, what I think is the heater shield. Go down a little bit. And it's mostly out of the... Maybe it's supposed to go in upside down. Yeah, it's just about falling out of that grip there. So yeah. Okay, didn't remember that. Figured it out. This will be that much more difficult. Oh my gosh! Can't be done with the Jeepers creepers. You know, you think these things are going to be easy. At least I do. Okay, I'm going to shove it up from the bottom. Okay, it's in. Up. Down a little bit so I can get at the top of it. Fit this back on. Okay, so the gap is right out this way. Gap is nowhere near there. Well, that explains a little bit about how this wire is running too, since oh boy, this will not be easy to get on unless I line it right up. Gap is here. So generally when you take stuff out of a radio like this and it has wires on it, if you don't bend the wires and fiddle with them, the wires kind of force it, or not force it, but help put everything back together correctly. If you've left them untwisted and that. Retwisted, I guess would be the word for it. Oh boy, I can't see anything, can't feel anything. Maybe I put the bulb down to the point where I can see the pins through the front hole. I probably can't get that. No, then the bulb will be deep in the bracket and I won't be able to get the socket on it. What a situation here. We got ourselves a situation. So I'm kind of showing you how easy it is to do this. It's not. This is going nowhere here. Oh! I got it. I just blindly got it. Part of that is get everything to line up. That's much better. So now we just see the glowing part. Beautiful. That's what's got to be. Okay, hopefully I didn't break any wires doing that or rough anything up. Got some tweeter wires here hanging down. Okay. Just putting these radios, like taking them apart, like taking them out of the cabinet and putting them back in is a project in itself. Where's this guy go? Where's he go? Aye. This has to connect to the chassis here somewhere. Well, it must be somewhere right around here. Where did I get this from? Wow. Get the whole thing out again. So this, I put in this to connect the other. Wait a minute now. This is coming from the radio. So I'm doing this completely wrong. This is supposed to connect to the, oh, right, the metal plate. Okay, so this wire should be hanging out the bottom, waiting to encounter this hole here in this dusty plate. That's what should be going on. Okay, so we're going to push it through the hole underneath. Okay, in you go. Don't lose your patience. Don't lose your patience. This is where bad things happen. So when you're putting these chassis back in, the buttons often are going into a slot that is just shaped just right for them, just big enough, and that's the case here. So we got to get this lined up. Why won't it line up? Because it's not in all the way yet. I can't get it all the way in. The buttons aren't lining up. Kind of back it out and give it a little bit of a twist here. There it goes. There we go. You could hear the button pop actually. There, it's in. Hope it works. I don't want to do this again. Okay, this is tangled up. I don't think we want it running around in there. Okay, that's the FM. Just a little bit of dust there and there. Okay, it's in. Now, we got this green wire dragging over top, especially this tube. It's really hot, so we can't have that. We cannot have that. Just kind of fish it up this way. And this white wire got a melted spot on it, but you know, excuse me. No, it's not this one. Yes, it is this one. Well, there's no way it was in contact with the tube while it's in the radio, so that little melt spot must have happened when the chassis was out. I don't know. But it's not significant. It's not touching any tubes. This wire's clear. Okay. Before I put the back on, I should really test this radio. Make sure it's still operating. It's all lined up. Volume down. The knob's cleaned up just like new. I mean, it looks beautiful down here. It's fantastic. Okay. Put the power in. Radio's off. Orchestra button pushed. Here we go. Doing the dim bulb thing. Broadcast. You can see the bulb in the background. Working perfectly. I never tightened up the panel light. Duh. Okay, cut the power. Did not tighten up the panel light. Oh boy, now there's another. I should have done that while it was out. I don't think I can do this. How can I get in there? Tighten up the light bulb. Oh, for crying out loud. There's really no way. It's going to be break time very soon, I'm telling myself. Just take your time. You get to have a break. Don't do anything crazy now. Okay, that's probably enough. Hey, you know, I can reach from the front. No, I cannot. Okay, I think the light's in. So then we got to use the angle trick to get this in. There we are. Once again. Come on, camera. Don't lose your focus. Here we go. Okay, ready for another try. Volume down. Here we go. I unplugged the power cord. Power cord. much drama. Can we try one more time? This time it's going to work. Just lower the lights here a little bit. Okay, man, here we go. Let's turn it off. Dim bulb. There we are. We have the light going. Yeah, I kind of allow basically a shop session to extract the chassis, maybe not from a radio like this, but from a console, and to put everything back together. I figure it's a shop session to do it. I think if you think things are going to take 10 minutes and you're 30 minutes into it, the frustration will go high. So if you tell yourself this will take an hour, and you just calm yourself down, you can get away with it, I think. So you can see the green is nice and bright. That's really good. Really good. Sound? That's even better. Broadcast band. It's just a temporary power cord falling in and out.
It's scary the stuff the Yankees are doing that's working out. Matt Chapman.
Lots of volume. FM. Okay, removing the other pointer. Did I not plug the antenna in? I did.
People. First time I saw it with an audience.
How does that feel for you?
Cathartic, you know. I mean, you make it for an audience, and yet I've only been seeing it with, you know, people who are working with me on the film.
There we are. Lovely. Lovely.
I'm performing. I'm going to tell
Different tone buttons.
These are performance artists who go around performing.
This is the
live
orchestra
surgery
setting.
Viggo Mortensen's character, he's producing organs. He's producing
Voice?
organs, and they remove them.
Yes.
There's a version of this film where they're surgeons.
Ooh, jazz.
And there's a version of this film where they're scientists. I found it interesting that you chose
Bass.
artists for these characters.
Yeah. What are those other versions?
Well, you know what they mean.
Yes. I don't know if you could call it a decision to do that. I just started to write it, and I was interested in performance art, and in particular body artists, and even in...
This is a treble cut, I believe, control here.
1990s, there were those. There were performance artists who used their
at the
bodies as their paintbrush, or their palette, or their clay. And I thought, okay, that's incredible dedication. I mean, because a lot of the things that they were doing, surgeries, and
Where's the B set? I don't know. On its behind.
Oh, jeez. I don't know, did you catch that joke? Wasn't worth catching. There we are, a couple of screws in the bottom, and it is done. I don't think there's much more I can do for this radio. Good. I think it's good. I think it's a beautiful looking radio. The cabinet's in great condition. You can listen to FM on it. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Okay, didn't expect to be shooting a little more video, but so I put the back on the radio. Sorry about all that noise. There it is. There's the original cord back into it. Switched it all on, and Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Now I'm on the dim bulbs, so if the radio comes on, the dim bulbs should come on. So watch this. Watch this. The cord is defective. Oh my gosh, no, 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 no. You can't be doing this at the last minute. Sometimes it can be the other end. Same piece of wire, there's no chance. The cord is defective right up here. You never know. Oh, what am I going to do about that? Okay, new plug on the power cord. Now, if I boot that up, and when I hit the switch, those lights will come on. Full tilt, that's all that'll happen. Otherwise, the radio should operate. Bingo! Radio's operating. Oh my gosh. You know, you just never know. That's right to the very last thing. Yeah. Who'd have thought? That looks just great. Who'd have thought there's a break in there? Lovely. Done. Finished. Good. Beautiful day outside. I'm heading outside. Wonderful. Okay, well thanks a lot for watching the whole series, including the plug. And I'll see you on the next video.